Hey there, this is Cooper from Telepathic Bunny Comics. This is the buy one back one initiative update show number 10. And today we've got on a special guest. What's that?
Number 10.
Number 10. 10. It's many. Anyway. All right.
Been going.
Yeah. This program's been going on for a little while. Yeah, we've had some good I guess we got some good results from the buy one back one so far. Well, I guess we can fold that into the fund my comic eventually.
It's kind of the idea,
like yeah. Anyway, so we're going to talk a little bit about Fund My Comic. There's a few updates we can go with today. Things that just occurred the last couple days that people probably want to know about. So far, we've only got Will over there in the chat. Said hail earlier. I think he's did a yeah, there he is. All right, Belmont's messing with me again. Anyway, he's doing an unboxing video just a little while ago. He didn't respond when I asked if he's still doing it. Anyway, maybe he'll come in. I don't know. But Fund My Comic is, I don't think a lot of people know that that's actually an IGG replacement. I think it's just another guy like doing his own, setting up his own website to do his own comic, which is what it started out being, So I don't know that people have moved off of that perception, I
think people are starting to.
Yeah.
I think the more word gets out, I think they're realizing that it's, that it's a lot more than just a WordPress site or a Shopify plugin. I mean, it's significant.
Yeah. I think the reason why I'm putting my own mags in this basket as opposed to trying to create my own website or whatever, like a lot of people are doing, is because you have to use someone else's technology. You have to use someone else's code, someone else's plugin, or someone else's website resources, which leaves you vulnerable to whatever blue-haired Karen that gets on the trust and safety that shows up, decides that she wants to mess with your world.
It certainly leaves you beholden to people's ideology and politics. When you create a site, I mean, even like my own personal site is up on Squarespace. You know, it could, that they could potentially be influenced to take my site down or, refuse me hosting, and we didn't want that because honestly, a lot of these sites, that's what it is. Wherever they're hosted, they have a Shopify store and they are doing a Shopify plugin and they're still beholden to Shopify. So if there are certain people that get a crawl. They get something in their crawl.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they get mean and they've got extra time on their hands, and so they do whatever they can to try to take away your livelihood is what they try to do.
Right.
And so we didn't want that. We wanted to have a website that was built on our own boxes, with our own platform and our own security and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we did.
Well, see, we had this debate over in Indiegogo when Indiegogo started shadow banning certain campaigns, and people were like, "Oh, well, it's the trust and safety over at IGG," and I'm like, "Now, trust and safety, they're not paying that much attention. What they're going off of is somebody has to point these campaigns out to them.
Yeah.
You know, before this action gets done, okay? And then when you see the usual suspects are like, "Oh, I know what's going on here." Oh, well, really, pray tell, Vickyverse, how the hell do you know
Yeah.
what's going on here? Well,
Yeah.
it's because her and her little aunties are like thumbing CG projects to
Now,
IGG.
I'm
That's the
sure
only
she's
way
doing
that
that.
happens.
I'm sure she's doing that, but I wouldn't give so much power to her as a boogeyman. I'm
Well,
sure there's other
well,
people
I
doing
mean,
it
I'm
too.
not giving her power. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that those things have to be flagged
It's
to,
people like her
yeah, people like
that are
her, right?
doing it,
Well, I mean,
and probably people
when
with a little more power than her.
well, I think it's very interesting that this started after JDA got taken down, and then suddenly there are people like, oh, also they'll listen to us and they'll take down our enemies if we complain enough,
Well,
you know?
yeah. Unfortunately, Liam started that mess,
Oh yeah,
um,
exactly.
and the legality of it is debatable, and I don't want to get into that. But
Right, right,
the ethics of it, you know,
yeah.
are even somewhat debatable, and people will
Oh,
fall on
definitely.
different sides of that
Right.
argument. But the fact of the matter is, somebody used trust and safety
Yeah.
as a way of deplatforming someone,
Right.
and
And
when I saw
suddenly,
that happen, so that happened before I came back. I was
yeah.
awake, but before I started
Right.
getting back on social media and stuff. So I
Yeah.
was kind of watching the tail end of that a
Hmm.
little bit from the hospital, and it made me think, you know. And then we were running into that Liberty situation, Liberty
Oh yeah.
distribution
Right.
situation. It made me think I
Welcome
don't want
back
to
to
be.
consciousness.
Yeah, it was a pretty rude awakening, to be honest. And I was like, I don't really want to be
Right.
at the whim of these other things, you know, because I know, you know, today it's this, but
Hmm.
you know, I'm a Christian. Uh, I would be called a Christian conservative, even
Hmm.
though, you know, 10, 20 years ago I would have been a more liberal Christian. Liberalism is different than what it is now. A lot of
Hmm.
liberal Christians are more progressive,
Right.
and I believe they hold more to leftist ideology than liberalism. So I mean,
Right.
you know, it's a, you know, it's a mess. It's a mess. And I was like, I don't
Hmm.
want my livelihood affected after this,
Right.
and because, you know, it already was being affected, and
Yeah.
so I just I didn't trust anyone, and I was like, nah, we're gonna we're gonna make a way to do this on our own on my own website, because I
Well,
knew there was
I
a
think
way.
Tranisha definitely did you a favor by screwing with you, you know, like that.
They
Because if you had
did,
launched
yeah,
successfully, then you wouldn't have run into Ray Haylock,
yeah,
and then you wouldn't have found the resources necessary to actually create your very
yeah,
own, you
yeah.
know,
Well,
individually coded apparatus,
yeah, I
basically.
knew I didn't want to use pretty simple things like WordPress
Hmm.
and Shopify, even though people are doing that with great success.
Right,
It's
right.
not for me. I'm I'm not okay with the security level that it has.
Hmm.
So I wanted something that was a little more hands-on, you know, that I had a
Yeah.
little more control over. And I did a lot of research, and I found Thrinacia, and
Hmm.
they are a development company that developed coding for a basically just a crowdfunding platform, and
Hmm.
you can lease the code, and it's on
Right.
their boxes and their system, a lot
Hmm.
like what we're doing with this developer. But unfortunately, it was with Thrinacia. They're a Canadian company, and I'm
Yeah.
not having any luck with Canadian companies these days.
Mm,
And so
no.
yeah, it was pretty.
Well,
My little
needless
dog's
to
coughing.
say, they try to pull a bait and switch on you,
They did, yeah. And what
and
wound
yeah.
up happening is we wound up meeting Dave
Hmm.
through Ray Haylock, and now
Yep.
um, we've got a site that is it's gonna be a big, beautiful site. I'm telling you, I'm pretty
Yep.
excited about it.
Yeah. 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 It's going to be a big and beautiful, big beautiful site. There you go.
It's gonna
Anyway,
be it's gonna be great. It's gonna be
it's gonna be
big.
great.
It's gonna be
It's gonna.
beautiful,
Everyone
and
says
we're
so.
gonna make
Everyone
Thrinacia pay
says so.
for it.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Anyway. So So hold on one second. Chris Fisk says most Canadian companies compromised by the CCP. Yeah, agreed.
I
Agreed.
think I
Yeah.
think there might be some
Right.
truth
Right.
to
Right.
that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. 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 And sadly, most American companies are compromised.
Yeah.
Agreed. Agreed. Well, I think the first time I've heard something like this happening was when Parler was like right on the edge of taking over Twitter. Right
Right.
after they threw off Donald Trump, and people were like, "Okay, well, I don't want to be on a platform that's capable of doing this." And so Parler was sitting there and as an alternative, and so people started getting on Parler at pretty sizable amounts. And Donald Trump wasn't even on Parler at the time.
No, but a
Uh,
lot of conservatives were,
yeah,
and
and then suddenly Amazon pulls the plug
well,
because
yeah,
it
because
turns out that they were
they were part
hosting
of
on Amazon.
yeah, and so
Yeah,
that also gave me some
yeah,
concern about being hosted on
hmm,
someone else's platform like that.
right,
So
right,
that's why
yeah,
I wanted something that it was on. It was on its own boxes somewhere,
hmm,
and so yeah, that's what we're doing. So we've got the site. It
right,
should be live. We should have access to start putting campaigns on it any day. We were
right,
hoping before Christmas, quite honestly, but we're
hmm,
waiting on lawyers and bankers to get the final
yeah.
draft of the terms of service.
Now,
Honestly, here's what's
I,
funny. They
yeah.
started work on their part before the
Hmm.
developer started working on coding.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and coding is ready.
Hmm.
So,
So that's saying that engineers are faster than lawyers and bankers. So there you go.
Big
yeah,
surprise.
yeah, we're all very. I'm frustrated with how long they're taking, and I
Right,
know it's
right,
the holidays, and so
yeah,
they're probably not even in the office today. To
right,
be
right.
quite fair, they're probably not even in the office today, and they're probably sure not going to be in the office on Monday, which is driving me crazy
Mhm.
because I want to get this site populated,
Yeah.
And so the only thing we're waiting on right now
Hmm.
is lawyers and bankers to get the legalese taken care of. As soon
Well,
as that is done,
yeah.
I was going to say as soon as that is done,
Go ahead.
because of the because I'm a client for Surrendum, right?
Mhm.
So they can't actually release the product to me to
Right,
start working with and until that's done, right?
right.
So they're even like Dave's like it's he said, we'll cram the last couple of steps to get this thing,
Hmm.
ready to go. I mean, it's he goes
Yeah.
that's not a problem. He goes that's going to be easy. He goes
Right.
the we're just waiting on them. So once we get that done, we'll have access to a site where we can start getting users signed up
Hmm.
and get some campaigns built. Once we have
Right.
a couple campaigns built and ready to present, we don't want to have an empty
Hmm.
site when we launch. Then
Yeah.
we will turn on the domain and fundmycomic.com will be live for all. So
Right.
that
Right.
is the plan, and we were hoping to be doing that now.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
yeah,
Right. Well, I think it's also. I think this must be said that the reason why uh, this needed the lawyers and the bankers had to get involved is so they could write up a solid ironclad terms of service that will
yes,
disallow the future involvement with the banks, maybe trying to pull out or or discontinue, which is really the only vulnerability that you're leaving open.
yeah,
And so that has to be shored up. So, spending an extra amount of time getting that absolutely locked in stone is definitely something that needs to happen, even if we're happy, even if we want to go forward with this, right?
yeah, and that is, I mean, it's very very important
Mm-hmm.
that all this language is right, because it's not just law; it's banking and
Right.
it's money,
Mm-hmm.
and unfortunately, we can't make our own banks.
No.
We can't. We just can't do that. So we are still a little bit at the mercy of the banking outfits that do this stuff, right?
Right.
And so you've basically got 2 or 3. Stripe is the primary one that everyone uses. We will be using Stripe, but it's going to be going into banks. And because of the way this works with accounting, the banks themselves, the actual bank that the accounts are going to, they're being very cautious with language, because when each person creates an account, they then get an escrow created for them, an account that money will go into. And so it's it's how the other guys do it,
Right. Yeah.
It's the right way to do it. It's really the only way to do it. But it does take a bit of time to get that set up and to make it work right.
Well, Kickstarter doesn't do it that way, but IGG definitely does.
Yeah, Kickstarter. Well, they
draw everything at the last minute.
They do, but they have added the feature where a backer can decide to have the money taken right away.
Okay.
So they are putting money into an escrow somewhere. Okay.
Right. Okay.
So, I mean, they still have to once they process it. They still have to use that same basic way. I mean, that when we did game printing, that's how we would do it. Everybody would put the money. We'd put the money into an escrow at the bank, and someone was the account holder, but that escrow is protected, and then we would use that money to take care of our print runs and stuff. So
cool.
it's just tedious.
Yeah, it's all tedium,
it's not as fun as making fun of. It's not as fun as making a comic. Yeah.
No, but if it doesn't get done, then you suffer further down the road if every I's not dotted and every T's not crossed.
Yeah, well, I know we're gonna make enemies with this.
Yeah.
Just the fact that the site is going to exist is gonna make people angry. The fact that people know the site is being built is making people angry. I mean, that's
wow.
I mean, people some people are just miserable. They live for misery. And
right.
So,
well, having it on a website that's not going to allow them to like mass flag or do the little shenanigans that they've been doing recently.
Yeah, honestly, they can email me about a campaign, but if it's not breaking the law, we're not going to do anything about it. I mean, free speech is free speech. We want complete freedom of expression for people.
Right.
In fact, I think I might have loaded a couple of bumpers into your branding.
Oh, okay.
All the way down at the bottom. You can check those out sometime.
Oh, okay.
I think I put them in there. I did.
Let me look.
Fund My Comic. Bumper 1, Bumper 2. Couple bumpers that we can use, and that's kind of we've got a tag. Freedom of expression.
Right.
Fierce
let me click it right quick. See what we got.
Ooh,
that's pretty cool.
Professional.
That's very professional.
The ball is going to start bouncing. They're going to sing a song.
All right, let's check the second one out right quick.
So I'm obviously working on the media package for all of this stuff. Yeah. And so I can't... I'm chomping at the bit. And, it's Christmas coming up.
Right,
in a couple of days. And so I just... the best news I could get would be that that we have a site that's live. And so when we say live, it means we have access to the URL to where we can start getting people signed up.
Right.
We will turn the domain on. We'll link it up. Once we've got a couple of campaigns up there, got some nice art to present, and some things looking good. So, that's what we'll do.
want to open it up for any questions anybody in the chat may have that you've anything you've heard so far that make any questions that you want to know about, what's allowed on the site, how the anything about the way the site's structured.
Yeah,
Feel
absolutely.
free to
Ask
ask,
away.
and if he knows the answer, he'll do his best to answer.
I know most of the answers. I will be,
Right.
I do know most of the answers now. There's been a few of them where I was like, I gotta check on that one. But yeah, we've been able to figure out most of. I haven't in the last few days. I haven't heard a question that I hadn't already heard. So,
well, that's good. That's good. I'm sure there will be some curveballs thrown later on. There always is. There always
we're
are.
gonna have we're gonna have glitches. I mean, it's
Oh yeah, unfulfilled campaigns. What about if someone tried to put up a campaign and then post a second campaign or whatever, not fulfill, stuff like that?
Very, very good question. All right, so here's what we're gonna do right now. It's not gonna be like I think Kickstarter still has everybody's campaign is approved by an individual. Our platform's gonna work the same way. So it's Todd and myself, and we might have one or two other people that we'll employ to do that. But we will. Each campaign is going to be gone over by us when they're submitted to us for approval. And so, one of the things that we'll keep an eye on is how many campaigns they've ran without fulfillment. We're also going to consider other sites. If they've got 4 or 5 campaigns unfulfilled from other crowdfunding platforms,
right?
We are going to limit their use of the site on the platform. If people are just using the platform, any single user, we're only going to allow 2 unfulfilled campaigns at a time. So you can, in essence, run 2 different projects if you want. And but before you start running that third, one of those has to be fulfilled. So we're going to do that. And the only exception is going to be if someone is a publisher. Let's say someone like Marcel Dupree comes up to us and says, "Hey, I want to crowdfund on Fund My Comic, but I'm going to be doing like 3 or 4 at a time." Well, we'll allow that, but we'll also keep an eye on it.
It's like Peter Samiti, maybe somebody like Peter Samiti.
Yeah, Peter Samiti.
Peter Samiti would be awesome to have. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So all of these, so kind of all of those options, we're going to look through and because it's so grassroots, guerrilla marketing kind of thing.
Yeah.
We have control to be able to do things that maybe a company like Indiegogo doesn't, or Kickstarter doesn't. So we can make some exceptions and help things out a little bit. Yeah. But we have that basic rule that, and we're just telling people from the beginning that look, our third pillar is trust. That's trust that you have as a creator with the site, and that the backers have with the site, and that you have with your backers. Unfulfilled campaigns doesn't create trust for any of those relationships. And so we're just not going to mess with that.
Get that Hojo comment, Belmont. The Hojo, yeah, there you go. So how do you plan on using IGG? Those used to IGG to look here, lots of people feel comfortable with them and hesitant to try anything new.
That's a good question. And that's kind of the $1 million question for us. It's going to be a lot of word of mouth by creators that are wanting to use the site because of the freedom that it allows, and because of the freedom that it allows. The 2% platform fee gives them a lot more money in their own pocket, and many of the features. Again, once we start getting into the features of the platform, that's where it really shines, because it's so different than either one of those platforms that they already use. It's as good as you doing it from your own website. You're going to have that much freedom with how you manage your campaign. We are not going to have a standard sign up, if you will. Once a campaign is approved, it doesn't have to launch, but once it's approved, it will be visible to the public.
Okay.
And so people can actually go to the campaign and peruse it, window shop, before launch. So they can figure out what they want and kind of, get their money ready. That way, creators can have a really solid launch night or launch day when they do those. So, fun my cock, yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Should have.
You can buy that URL and it reroutes to Fund My Comments.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. I'm about to do it right now.
There you go.
Fundmycock.com.
There you go.
And we'll just redirect it. So, so this, man, where was that? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be a
Write that
standard
down.
sign up like you normally would. People can go and they can follow it and look at it, but they can watch it. Then when you have your launch, now we're going to be able to do two different things that are kind of like what Indiegogo can allow, but then something that nobody else allows.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have an indefinite campaign. You're still going to be able to do the all or nothing or the flexible goals. So you're still going to be able to do those kind of things. But let's say you need to extend more than 30 days. So you're not fighting algorithms now. So you can extend if you want to, but you don't have to worry about algorithms. You're not taking advantage of algorithms. If you want to run 60 days, you run 60 days. You don't have to do the whole, we're going to up it, all that BS. It's just baloney. We're not going to have to do that stuff anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You just run the campaign for as long as you want. Now, if you're getting really close to funding and you've got an all or nothing goal, and you say, you know what, I think I could use another week or two to get this, let us know. We have the power to extend your campaign however long you need. But we also have the ability, if what you want to do is run an indefinite campaign, you'll have a funding goal. Obviously, that's going to be you can do it as a fixed or flexible that never ends. Okay.
Right.
So what'll happen is, after a certain time, when you say, this is when we want the money. Normally, that's how how it'll work. You'll have a date, but that campaign will continue while people can still back, and then the money from the escrow will just come to you in increments. Is how that works. So you can, just like if you were running your own store, let's say you've got a goal and it's you've got a fixed goal of say $6,000. You're running a 60-day campaign, and let's say after day 10 you get your $6,000, and you need access to your what if you could have access to your money so that you can go and start paying your artist to get pages drawn before the campaign even ends.
Right.
Well, we can do that because it's already in an escrow. It's already been funded, and you've still got time on the clock. You don't have to wait for the campaign to end and then the additional 2 weeks for the processing.
I think that pretty much answers Chris Fisk's question. Bring it up, Belmont.
All right.
Or I will. There you go. All right. How do you plan on handle extended campaign storage, like in demand, whether it be time limits and demand features? What's really hit IGG hard, as the site was never designed for it. So
well, our site is primarily designed for crowdfunding, so it's not really intended to be a store, but you can crowdfund for an indefinite amount of time.
Okay.
We have the capabilities of allowing that to happen. So
well, because it's a private server farm, they can always add another box if they need more storage. So
we're starting out with 6, which is going to be more than enough to handle what we're doing. But as the site grows, we're going to add more. Those 6 are actually worldwide. They're in the US, China, Australia, a couple different places. So it's going to be pretty nice. Welcome, Mo.
Writer, artist, campaign site owner, Boy George impersonator. Luke wears a lot of hats in CG.
I do wear a lot of hats.
Even
the pork pie.
There you go.
I wear the pork pie too.
Yeah.
And I got the pimp
Have you
hat,
seen
too.
Boy George lately? Oh my God! You seen his latest pictures?
Man, he looks rough.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot
rough.
of pancake makeup on, but
Yeah,
it's
poor guy looks rough.
pretty rough. Anyway, All right, all right. Yeah. So I guess basically at the end of the day, it's just gonna be the bottom line is that people get on your website, they have campaigns, they conclude them, they pay out, and they fulfill their comic. It's just the proof's in the pudding, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's a
So
simple process. You're doing it from our stuff instead of somebody else's.
right.
Now, down the road, one of the things we hope to implement is a shipping integration where we can integrate
Hmm.
your pirate ship account so that you can actually
Yes.
print labels from the do fulfillment from
Which
the
is
platform.
something IGG doesn't do. So
No, no. Well, I'm
yeah.
thinking in terms of the creator for comic
Hmm.
books. You know, IGG's not thinking about that. They don't care about that. It's like
No,
2% of their
no,
business, maybe 5 if they're lucky, but it's not a
right.
lot of their business. But this is what I do. This is all I do. It's my full time gig, you know.
Yeah,
So
right.
for me, it would be way easier instead of bouncing around between different windows to
Hmm.
just go ahead and integrate my shipping and print my shipping labels
Right.
right from the window that I'm looking at the invoices, you know, and
Hmm.
which leads me to another feature. We're not doing a standard tier setup like most like most crowdfunding platforms do. It's going to it's going to operate a lot like a shopping cart. So you can literally do an a la carte type system where people pick and choose what they want. And of course, you can have a tier where it's a discount. Like, okay, if you buy all of these things, it's cheaper to buy it in this tier than it is that. So you can feature it. But you can also organize your tiers the way you want. They can be by dollar amount, by alphabet, or by, by popularity. So if people are backing a lot of one thing, it it kind of show
Hmm.
it'll show the other backers what's going on, and yeah. So there's different ways that you can. I mean, that wasn't even something I asked for. That was just something the developers thought would be a cool feature. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a cool feature. To
Cool.
be able to organize those the way I want, because I
What's
always hated not being able to organize them.
Yeah, what's our features that are being bandied about right now that are going to be things that IGG can't do or will not do
Uh,
that are going to be real selling points for the website?
well, the shopping cart, they don't do that. Um,
Hmm.
Once we can integrate shipping in like phase 2 or phase 3,
Yeah.
once we can integrate that, we can actually lower the shipping cost. So
Mm.
people can um, pay shipping based on address
Right.
rather than just a fixed amount. So we'll be able to set it up to where it does that. One of the other things that we do, we're not going to have secret tiers, but we're going to have coupon codes. So it's going
Right.
to function like a store. I mean, it's going to look just like what the Shopify um, or WordPress campaigns look like. I mean, it's got all those features because those are the features that's what's wanted, that's what's needed for what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to have that. But one of the things, I mean, right out of the gate, 2% platform fee. IGG will never be able to do that
No.
because we're a small company. We're small. We don't, comics and games, right? If
Right.
you just take all comics and games off of IGG, it's maybe 5 or 6% of their business. I might be wrong on that. Last time I
Hmm.
checked, it wasn't very much, right?
Yeah.
So they got a lot of going on for all this other stuff. Now, if they lost all of their comics and games, of course they would notice it. But
Yeah.
you know what? We can handle all the comics and games at
Right.
2%. Maybe we'll have to raise it to 3% to add more staff in the future. But
Hmm.
they're not going to be able to. They're not going to be able to touch that. Uh, we also are doing a thing where the backers can choose to boost a campaign if they like. This was
Right.
Ray Haylock's idea. So
Ah.
Indiegogo asked for a site tip, a website tip, but
Hmm.
they put it in automatically. Well, as a user, you will have the option to click to give a what we call a boost, right?
Hmm.
And that is going to function just like a tip would in
Right.
for our sake. That money's going to the website. It's going to help us to put more into the site, build more features, start. Eventually we're going to have an iPhone app that's going to go with it, but that's another $15,000 just to have that built, right?
Right.
So
Right.
so it's not right away.
No.
But all of that stuff is going to help to make the site better. So when you do that, number one, you know that it's going to be used to improve the site and not just buy some dude a second yacht, right?
Right.
Number
Right.
two, when you click to boost a campaign, it actually sends that campaign to the featured page for a time period. Okay, so you're actually benefiting the creator, where the site tip for Indiegogo doesn't benefit anyone but the site. This not only benefits the site, but ultimately the user and the campaign immediately. So that's something that we're doing that Indiegogo is not. They'll probably try to copy that.
Yeah.
I
It's a brilliant idea, because initially you get the funds to help fund the website, but at the same time you get to boost that campaign. Give them a little extra time on the front page and everything, and it basically everybody benefits from that. And Qui Bono is God, who benefits. And if most people benefit for the least amount of resources is the successful formula, And so,
we did a survey on Twitter, and we asked a lot of the people that we have contact with what they wanted in a crowdfunding site. We did a lot of research with that, right?
Yeah.
We gave that list. We compiled a list. We gave that to the developers. Only 2 of the items are not going to be included in this beta launch.
Okay.
Because it's they're a little more in depth. It's going to take longer to build them. So we're listening. We're putting those features. We're putting those features in.
I think the fact this is the ground floor. I mean, this is the ground floor. It's just like if we were able to get on IGG when it first started out and tell IGG especially what we wanted and get it custom made for our needs.
Yep.
And so, when we complain about IGG, we always complain that, oh, well, it's not functioning, specifically for what we need. And so we're adjusting to IGG as opposed to having IGG, adjust to us. And this is the opportunity to have a website, a crowdfunding site that is like made specifically for crowdfunding comic books and games. And we won't have to worry about the clunkiness of a website that had to think of all about 30 or 40 different applications that they're funding. We have 2 things that we're funding, i.e. we can do very the specificity and specialization is a very good thing, when you get to this level. And
one of the things I want to integrate besides the shipping feature, because the fulfillment is important to me, because that's, I mean, honestly, let's be honest, everybody that's made a comic book and fulfilled it knows that the campaign's not over until the last person gets their book.
Right.
Hybrids number 9 is over, but I just got metal today. Okay. And I just got black covers a couple days ago. So now I've got black covers and metal. Now I can get the rest of the stuff out. A lot of people that just had, the single book, but the campaign's not over till I get those books out. So
I wanted that black cover to complete my set, but I have to get it sometime later.
I'll have a couple.
I know you keep it back, but
But so that is a part of that process, and if we can make that process easier for the creators, then we should. And further down the road, what I want to do is I want to try to integrate something else into the site. I want to be able to help out brick and mortars that want to stock indie, right?
Yeah.
So I am going to be working on an option with the developers over the course of the next year
Yeah.
to take people that have funded on the site, and if you've had a successful campaign and fulfilled, then you can opt in to a retail section of the site where you sell your book at a discount. And what my hope is to be able to establish a printer that will print at a price that we need in order to be able to offer a 40 or 50% discount to the stores.
Right.
And we can handle that printing. So the creator doesn't have to. They just get, a quarter or 50 cents a book is basically what they do. I mean, obviously you're not going to get a lot, but that's still more than what a creator gets if they publish through, what is it, Image or something like that now.
Right.
You're getting pennies on the dollar.
Or go through a middleman like Diamond,
Yeah. If you're going through Diamond, you're screwed. And I think in a lot more ways than what we thought. A lot of things are coming to light these days. And so, I don't even know what the details of that would be and how the logistics would work. But I've been doing this long enough that I think I can figure it out. And again, once we get the site going and we've got people crowdfunding on there, I'll contact some of these creators and they will have the ability to speak into kind of how that might work and be a part of the think tank to get us there. Because I think what we do ultimately need is some kind of distribution for indie comics to retailers that want to carry indie comics.
Right.
And there's a lot of different ways to do that. There are people that are trying to print in bulk and have books in a warehouse somewhere. But I just don't know that works. We've got a site like Kablam that does in-demand printing. But it's not cheap and it's not retailer friendly. We're wanting to be able to print bulk for retailers at a discount. We got to figure out how to do that, And so I know there's, I know there's a way. I know it's possible. And so we're going to figure out how to do that.
We'll certainly get there. We'll get there.
Step one is just getting a site up and running so that people can put campaigns on there.
Got to walk before you can run, right?
Yep.
Crawl before you can walk. But anyway. All right. So let's last 15 minutes. Let's talk a little bit about campaigns that are in our campaign list here, being collated by Belmont. Let me go ahead and bring that up. All right, here we go. So this is what we got today. Can you blow that up, Belmont? There it goes. All right. So Rocket Magazine Mission 1 is up to 9,000. That's a good Wizard alternative. I definitely suggest that you check it out. Mission 2 is currently halfway down on 13. It is currently funding on IGG. So there's links to everything below in the description. Also on Belmont's website under he's got them listed there. KYRIE 3 it's pushing 9,000. Black Rhapsodies also pushing 9,000. You can see for yourself everything that's listed there. We have one that went off, and that's anyway. If one of my mods could take care of the girls 18 site, I appreciate it. Thank you. Anyway. All right. But yeah, so Mad Ruth, his SOLTAC is actually moving. He closed it out so it could get, his disbursement because NGG is screwing with him right now over that. And but he is also moving to Arrow Comics. Budget, print on demand would be really cool. Yeah, agreed. But SOLTAC he's trying to get his money from IGG without refunding to everybody because he's going to lose. It's going to lose support if he doesn't. So he's gonna if IGG is gonna pay that money out, but then he had to close his campaign to get it. But he's going to move over to Arrow Comics, and Arrow 4.0 is going to put out his comic.
We dropped the 4.0. Don't have to say that anymore.
Okay, all right. Just Arrow
Comics.
Arrow Comics. All right.
Yep.
It's all right. That's news too. There you go.
Yep. You heard it here first.
Anyway, it's coming. It's coming from Arrow Comics.
Yep.
Are they going to split it up into smaller? Or are they going to
later?
Okay.
Later, what's going to happen first is the book's going to be available.
Right.
You know, just as it is, we're going to fulfill the campaign.
Okay.
Down the road, we're going to break that off into 3 floppies with new covers and probably some backup stories or whatever.
Okay.
We'll work with Craig to figure out what we're going to do with that. We've got a little bit of a plan already. He's got a little bit of a plan. I say he. He's in control. He's in the driver's seat.
Right.
And so, but thankfully, he's going to have enough resources to produce a number 4 floppy. So for that next campaign, as long as it still holds, I believe what his plan is to relaunch, have a second chance campaign on Fund My Comic.
Okay.
And then there'll be a release of probably a soft release at some point of an issue 1 that will be a part of an Arrow bundle. So people that buy an Arrow bundle will be able to get a little taste of that story, kind of like they did with the Long Shots bundle, with some of those other stories. And then
that Long Shots that bundle might wind up being one of the better ideas that came out of that debacle. Getting all those number 1s and being able to like sample it and decide what you want to see. I think Alterna does something similar. Been digging the back one WordPress. Yeah, Ian. I think that's one of the links I got below there. I think Belmont included that link. But if you didn't, somebody put that in the chat, please.
We didn't even get into how the buy one back one is influencing the website.
Oh, really?
We'll do that later.
Yeah. So let's talk about that right quick.
So you created the hashtag buy one back one, so that smaller campaigns could get some eyes on them from people that might like, maybe they've bought one of these other comics, they've bought one, buy one, and there's a smaller campaign that's struggling out there, but it's something they might like. So it's used to try to get eyes on like projects, and unfortunately what happens in a lot of the standard platforms is when they put like the recommended, it's based on people that bought this also bought this kind of thing on certain algorithms. We're working on being able to do that to where it's tagged, so it's like, oh, it's this genre, it's got this in it, this story is similar to this story, so that it's something that you're interested in. If you're buying this book, this other campaign might be something that you're also interested in. So it's not a matter of popularity. It's a matter of, is that campaign similar? Is that book similar? Which is what the buy one back one kind of thing does. So not only can you pay to have a campaign featured, but you could also, when I say pay, the backers pay. They give the boost. Not only can they boost the campaign, but we're also working into the site to where smaller campaigns that are good campaigns just don't get lost in the noise. So we want to try to help good campaigns. And here's the other deal: we're not allowing people to launch their campaign unless it looks good. We're going to help them click off all the boxes so that their campaign can be successful. So it's like, look, you need more art up there. You could run, if you run the campaign like that, you're going to fail, because we don't want people running campaigns and not funding. That's
right.
Nobody wants that.
Oh, definitely, yeah. That's something we definitely don't want. The links over to the buy one back one WordPress site. The Ian Simeon runs it. It's got, I think he set up to 120 something campaigns on there now. But yeah, check that out. And also, I think it's pretty important, needs to be said that whilst we are CG friendly, and so is Fund My Comics going to be CG friendly, and it's not going to cancel anybody from CG, which is pretty much what we're saying, CG friendly. But
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not CG exclusive. Okay.
True. Yeah.
And that's important because I think CG the only way CG is going to make any changes to comic book society at large is if we get out of this box they got us in. Okay. And if people that, maybe are buying these crap comics off of Kickstarter, start checking out stuff that we've got over here, and because of the meritocracy and because of the intense, like, environment of one-upmanship and quality that's coming out from our group. We've got way better comics over here than that's in general indie comics, and so
Well,
the
here's
more
the
we
deal,
can,
Bunny.
yeah,
I know it works. I know this works. I know that you can have people that are CG and non-CG come together in one place and focus on making good comics. I know they can do that because
yeah,
we do that with our Facebook group, Indie Comics Connector.
yeah,
There are people there that are CG aligned. There are people that aren't.
mm-hmm.
And it's not about politics. It's about comics in there.
Right,
Honestly, nobody has a problem with diversity in comics. Not a single person that I've ever met has a problem. They have a problem when all you focus on is the diversity and you have a crap story.
yeah,
It's like, that's fine. Give me diversity. I want diversity.
yeah,
But I also want good writing. I don't give me diversity at the sake of giving me crappy writing. Don't do that. But give it to me with your good writing. And we're seeing that happen in a group already. So we know it's possible. We know it's
right,
possible. And so Fund My Comic, buy one, back one. It's for everybody. It's for everybody.
yeah, yeah, and we want to the heart of buy one back one is everybody gets seen. Not necessarily everybody. It's not like a red kettle. It's a marketplace where everybody gets put on the same table, and
Yep.
and as level a playing field as possible, because we believe in buy one back one. We believe in that the smaller creator uh, that maybe doesn't have an ex-pro pedigree, but they've been loving comics their entire life and been writing a comic maybe from the time they were 15, Belmont, 15, somewhere around in there.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. 15 or
Anyway,
16.
and just produce the comic that's the fruit of all the years of love that they have in their heart, and it's going to change the world. That kind of love changes the world, and we believe that needs to be on the same table. As long as it's quality, as long as it's executed well, needs to be on the same table as any ex pro or anybody that comes out of the mainstream that has a name, and just put them side by side in a venue where if they have the meritocracy, if they have the quality, that they can have an opportunity to put their book in hands. Okay. Um, and all we're trying to do here is we're not trying to. This is not a charity. This is a opportunity farm, basically. Uh, and so I think that's the way it's going to work with Fund My Comic is that because you can push campaigns because of this feature, you can push campaigns to the front page. It's not going to matter if you have like the algorithm like on IGG says, oh, this one sells more than this one. We're going to push it more, which is kind of like counterintuitive in a way, because if something is not selling as well, they don't have a vested interest in that. We do, okay, and so
our vested interest is we want the next Eastman Laird. We want the next Billy Tucci. We want the next, you know, you know, guy
They're
that
out there.
comes out of left field and has no connections and has no name in the industry, but has something special that's going to like, rock the world, and go from printing things on a copying machine at home and stapling it together and taking it to cons to having your own live action movie in less than 10 years, like Laird and Eastman, did. Um, and so that's what we believe in. We believe in the next big thing is not going to come from people we know. The next big thing is going to come from people that we don't know exist yet, and that's what we're aiming at. And so this the list that we had up earlier, all those books are under 10K. We They've asked to be on the list, but the meritocracy, you click on them if you like it, back it. But that's just giving you the list.
They still have to earn your money.
I still have
They
to
still
earn
have
it.
to earn your money.
They
Yeah.
still have to earn it. There's a misconception that we're trying to push books, that people are like, well, if they wanted to sell their book, blah, blah, blah. I get that all the time. But you know what? Some people just don't have the time. They don't have the ability to go on endless shows. Nathan Rosario, bless his heart, was Stumped. Stumped one of the best books in CG and one of the best characters in CG. And it should be way bigger than it is, but he can't go on endless shows. He's busy all the time, you know. But that guy deserves to be seen. That book deserves to go places, right? And so that's what we believe in. We believe in like filling in the blanks, filling in the gaps, And we're going to keep doing that. Buy one, back one. Click on that hashtag. Oh, love to see Korean and English translations crowdfunding soon. Juice needs to be a physical copy. Good comics come from everywhere, even Red Webtoon. Hey,
They do.
hey, sure, why not? Uh, we're not anti-weeb here. You know, sorry, Mo, we're not. We're not anti-weeb here.
Uh-oh.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Anyway, he's probably not hanging around. He stays maybe 5 minutes at my channel, so he's usually gone by now.
Yeah, you said that the other day, too.
I said that the other day, and he was like, "Oh, still here." Oh well,
Yeah.
I stood corrected, but anyway, yeah. So basically, that's what this is about. We're here about that next big thing, getting it seen, getting it funded, getting it, having a place for it to happen, to occur, to to like shake things. We want the next Nirvana. We want the next, something that we've not seen before, or something that's really going to like grab the zeitgeist and do something amazing. Uh, and so everybody needs a chance. Everybody needs a chance.
That's really the
Now,
spirit
what
of
they
Fund
do
My
with that
Comic.
chance is what's that?
So that's really the spirit of Fund My Comic. I just wanted the freedom and the the security to be
Hmm.
able to know that I could continue to grow my audience and to earn a living doing
Hmm.
this.
Right.
And I wanted, because you're one of the people that talked me into actually doing this thing.
Uh-huh.
It was not intended for anyone but myself, but it
Right.
just happened that hey, I can host other people,
Hmm.
and then this thing got away from me. This thing got away from me. It was like it was like the right time, the right place, and
Right.
I just happen to have enough money to make it happen at
Right.
the moment. So it's like let's. So I
With
just
a
felt
little
like it
help
was the
from
right thing
Todd.
to
A
do.
little help from Todd.
A little
Yeah.
help from Todd, yes. A little help from Todd. Would not have been
Who
able
Little
to do
couldn't
it
bit.
be
without
here
him.
today because he's holding his wife's packages somewhere in the mall. Anyway.
Oh, I was going to say something dirty.
He's waiting
Oh,
outside
my
of
God.
Victoria's Secret with all those guys.
Yeah, I guess, whatever.
Yeah,
It's like,
but
okay, he's happily married, blah blah blah,
he
whatever.
is, man. Yeah, he's a. I mean,
Yeah,
he holds her packages today. Maybe she'll hold his package tonight. Who knows?
Oh my!
Okay. Well, there you go.
Sorry.
Give and
I'll see
take.
myself
There you go.
out.
There you go.
Bye.
All right. Anyway, on that note, so, all right. So yeah, check on that. Click on that hashtag. There's plenty of stuff underneath the hashtag. Plenty of campaigns are still being put under there. Check out Ian's website. That the link was a little earlier. Spicy, yeah, a little bit. Anyway, so yeah. And when Fund My Comic comes live, consider that and taking a chance on it, because I think it's a very solid investment. I see no downside here. Be sure to tip your waitress. Luke will be here all week. Yeah.
Okay.
Probably not. He's a busy man, but anyway. Anyway, so you got any? You came in a little late, Will. Do you have any questions about Fund My Comic for Luke?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man.
Okay. I wasn't seeing the circle light up, so.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Well, for starters, I want to tell Luke that I think this is awesome, and definitely I'm gonna DM you after the show because I wanted to ask you something.
Sure.
That I don't want to let on quite yet, but I've heard a lot of the ins and outs from talking to Luke over the last month, and talking to Ray and Todd, and I just think the whole thing sounds awesome. It's got the lowest percentage, so almost all the money goes right back to the creator, and it's just a good spot with the crap that Kickstarters pull in. One hit piece from some woke ninny gets Mike Barron kicked off a platform. Indiegogo either shadow banning us or we finding out that we're just not popular. All this stuff.
I'm just not popular.
Yeah, that's going to be a T-shirt on the site, though.
There you go.
Stuff like that. It's just like it's enough to drive you crazy. So I'm looking forward to this. I know a mutual friend of myself and Luke, who I host on the Seanzilla Art Show every Monday night on Creators Outlet.
By the way, feel free to broadcast that in everything you do to the Indie Comics Connector Facebook group. Yeah,
I've been having a problem trying to broadcast to Facebook, which has been
I figured out
issue.
A hack. I'll tell you later.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, there's a hack.
I know he is going to be launching his art book on Fund My Comic next year.
Nice.
Ah, there you go.
We'll be happy to have him. And he'll keep more of his money because we're only taking a 2% platform fee. I've had so many people who's like, that's too low. And I'm like, I don't care. That's all we need. That's all we need right now. 1% is going to go back to the developer to maintain and grow the site, and 1% for us to help market and recover our investment.
Right.
And some of that 1% is also going to go to charities. We're going to do good things in the world with this company.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely good investment. Well, basically, what we're doing, what I think is going to be accomplished here, is we are basically stop playing their game. We're stop playing by their rules, and we're stop being under their thumb. We have to basically make our own path. They have made it clear that they are going to change the rules. They're going to pull the wool, out, or pull the rug out from under us at any opportunity they get. And so we're going to step off the rug. And we're gonna like okay, well, if you're not gonna let us drive on the road, we'll just make a new road. And so the only way this works, and I hope if you hear nothing else today, is if you want, if you want to stop getting things like what's going on at IGG happening to us, then support things like this. We have to build another parallel economy. They're going to push us out of all the spaces, and we're going to have no place to go if we don't see the life rafts that are being offered and jump in them. Okay, don't complain about the Titanic going down if you have a life raft being right there, offered to you, and you didn't take it. Okay, and the only way this works is the only way that Luke can continue to do this, and Todd can continue to do this, is if we support it. Okay, now. For years and years and years, I've heard people like, EVS wants to make this, EVS wants to make that. Well, EVS didn't make it. Okay, he didn't. All right, he had the resources, he had the time, he had the people wanting to do it, but he didn't choose to. Okay, he chose to stay on IGG, and that's probably where he'll stay after this. I have no idea. But
now,
what I do
people
know,
have asked, well, what happens if bigger names don't come to the site? And well, we're building the site for whoever needs it. If they need it, they're welcome. If they don't need it, that's fine. That's fine. Mm-hmm. If building your own website and doing a WordPress crowdfund is fine for you, and that works for your business, we want you to do that. This is to help people that really need it and want to use the resource. Right. It's, and the people that need to find it will find it. I'm certain of that.
But take this opportunity, guys. I mean, don't wait on anybody. We're not waiting on anybody. We're not waiting on somebody bigger, somebody with more resources, somebody that has a bigger name in the community. We're doing this now, okay? With or without them. Whether they jump on, whether they help, whether they grab an oar, or whatever the frig they're going to do, whatever metaphor you want to take. That's what we're doing, okay? And we're not grabbing an oar, we're putting a damn motorboat in this bitch and going, okay?
Yeah, we are. The first campaign will launch in January. In fact, our hope is, we're just waiting on the GD bankers and lawyers. As soon as we can get a few creators, there's a couple key people that we want to have build campaigns, right? So we'll have them build campaigns, and then we will launch the site. But the first campaign will start funding in January.
There you go.
Yep. So Out of Obscurity was actually going to launch January 1st. That is still the plan, as long as we have a site ready to go. So we're working on it. I mean, we're just
putting
waiting.
A motor
the
on
developer's
it.
ready. Yeah. Well, we're waiting on.
Why do we need an oar? That's not efficient. We want to put an engine on this bitch, okay?
Yes.
We're too old to row.
Yeah, one oar, two oars, it don't matter. We're putting a motorboat on this damn thing, all right?
Yeah.
You either get in the boat and join us or don't, but that's what we're doing here. All right. Anyway, that's going to get me canceled from everybody all the way to the top or whatever. Anyway.
Not to be confused with motorboating.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Honestly, I hope we get endorsed by some of the bigger guys. I hope they find a home, and I hope they're able to grow their business by using Fund My Comic. I mean, they're going to benefit from 3% less being taken by somebody. So I hope SJWs want to use it.
Yeah. Why not?
Go ahead and. Like I told someone, I said, here's the deal. Free speech is free speech. We still have to have some responsibility with all of our freedoms.
Right.
And so we're putting tools in there. That's what the lawyers are working on, is the responsibility for the freedom. Right? But if Kanye wants to come on and write a comic book about how much he loves Nazis, and somebody else wants to come on and make a comic book about how much they hate Kanye, that's fine. We'll run them next to each other. Because guess what?
Yeah. Free speech is free speech, baby.
Is
I
Alex
think there's a
Jones
market for
banned
both.
from the site?
No.
No. The only way you're banned from the site is if you are a known grifter. If you are not fulfilling campaigns, that's the thing. Yeah, like that's your problem.
Yeah. There you go. All right.
We would love to have her
Yeah, there you go.
on the platform.
On the platform. That's what we're saying. On the platform. All right.
On the platform.
Anyway, and if SJW wants to come, they got to know that the thumb's not on the scale.
No.
They're going to have to bring it.
Everybody's got to bring it.
They got to bring it.
And here's the thing, Bunny. Just because someone's my friend, they still got to bring it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I got to bring it. I got to bring it. We all got to bring it. That's the only way people are going to pay us. To make this work.
I'm due to going to launch mine on July the 4th this year.
That's a great day.
So, no special anything. Even me platforming today has doesn't matter. I still gotta get it on there. It's gotta be good.
You gotta market. You gotta build a heck of a campaign. You gotta write a heck of a book.
There you go. And working on it.
You gotta raise the bar, not lower it.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. That's what we're
raising
doing.
the tide.
Okay. Yeah. With a motorboat, not oars. Motorboating. All right. All right, guys. Thank you very much for coming today. Thank you for asking questions. Anybody has any questions after this, Luke is available for DMs on Twitter. He's not ashamed or distancing himself. He's willing to answer any questions because
might take a minute because I am very busy.
Very, very, very busy guy. Okay, just bear in mind. Either that or Todd Altman's, who's Redshift Comics. He'd be willing to answer, but he's even busier than Luke is. So, who knows? Who knows who will answer or ask me, and I'll like ask them for you.
If somebody wants to, they can hire me, and I'll campaign for them.
There you go. Yeah.
You can also contact Ray Haylock. He knows everything that I know, and he's more technical.
Ray Haylock, Tug's web guy. So there you go. Dang, got here late. Guess I'll start the stream over. Yeah. If you have any questions, Pum, just ask one of us guys. We'll make sure you get your answer. Anyway, that's been. Let me let Luke go because he is a busy guy. That has been Cooper from Telepathic Bunny Comics. Thank you all for coming today. And click that buy one back one and check out those great campaigns that are available. And it's also available on the Belmont Press channel. I got in the description below. I've got the links to everything that he has. Anyway, so that has been Cooper from Telepathic Bunny Comics here with Luke Stone Studios, Belmont, and Will from Joker Fan on Twitter. And y'all have a very good day, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Christmas.
Merry Christmas, guys.
And God bless us.
Tell me what's on your mind.